people would call Dr. Patrick Cho.
And before you sit down, I'll ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty for perjury?
I do.
Okay, you can sit down.
Good afternoon. Can you please state your full name and spell it for the record?
Yes, good afternoon. Patrick Cho, C-H-O.
And what's your occupation?
I'm a deputy medical examiner,
And where are you a deputy medical examiner at?
Oakland County,
How long have you been doing that?
2007.
You've been in the same place since 2007?
I've been at Oakland County on and off since 2007. I have been a contract medical examiner for Jackson County since then, and most recently Lenawee and Hillsdale County after Dr. Bader Casson passed away. But I also do cases in Bay, Midland, Tuscola, Iosco, and Aranet counties.
Okay. And you've been a medical examiner since 2007, though. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. Approximately how many autopsies do you think you've performed?
Well over 6,000 at this point.
Okay. Have any of those autopsies you performed been related to homicides?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been admitted as an expert in any courts in the state of Michigan?
Yes.
Have you ever been denied that?
No. Over 200 times in federal circuit and district courts in 11 different counties.
All right. At this time, Your Honor, I'd move to admit Dr. Patrick Cho as an expert in forensic pathology.
We leave it to the court's discretion. Thank you.
All right, I will so certify Dr. Cho.
On August 20th, 2024, did you perform an autopsy on Dee Warner?
Yes.
How did you identify her body?
So the body was, it was presumed at that point on August 20th. The dental identification came later, verification of Dee Warner. So that's how it was.
Okay, so on August 20th, 2024, you presumed it was Dee Warner, but at a later point in time, you were able to confirm it through dental records?
Correct.
All right, and do you know how long that took to confirm the identity?
Offhand, I don't.
All right. When you did the autopsy, I noticed you did an external examination and an internal examination. Is that accurate?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the external exam observations first. Just give me a brief overview of what you observed when you received her body.
Sure. The body was enclosed in a body bag, as is normal. Once the body bag was opened, the body was actually wrapped in 2 polyethylene tarps that were secured with duct tape. So that was the initial exposure to the body.
Okay. Did you unwrap those two tarps?
Yes.
Okay. What did you observe when you unwrapped those?
There was the body of an adult female. The legs were bound with duct tape. The arms were bound to the torso with duct tape. There was duct tape over the nose, mouth, part of the head. And then there was brown, kind of red debris, sludge.
Did the body have any clothing on it?
There were what appeared to be pajamas, top and bottom, and underwear.
When you say appeared to be pajamas, what do you mean?
They looked like just standard ladies' pajamas, but because of the dirt and red, maybe they were light sweats. I don't know,
Okay.
but I thought they were pajamas. So.
Okay. Did you, was there any jewelry on the body of Miss Warner?
Yeah, there were 2 metal posts with clear stones in the right and left ears. Pardon me. And there was a metal ring with clear stone on the right 4th finger.
Did you observe any injuries to the body of Miss Warner?
Once the tape over the head, face, and neck and arms were removed. There were contusions on the right and left cheeks, lateral aspect of the left eye, contusion on the left shoulder. I believe that was it. No, there was a small contusion on the back of the head as well, the scalp.
Did you observe any internal injuries?
Once we completed our external examination, we proceeded with an internal examination, standard Y incision, opening up the abdominal and chest cavities, and then the head. There were obvious blunt force injuries of the left temporal parietal scalp regions and on top of the skull. There were subdural hemorrhages over the brain, so that's indication of blunt force injury. There were contusions about the tongue, not contusions, but bruises about the tongue, and there were petechial hemorrhages on the epiglottis. Yeah.
You used the term epiglottis.
So that's why I was looking at if you
Okay,
wanted me to
I
explain.
do need to know, yes.
The epiglottis is cartilage tissue that overlays, while we're talking here, it's in an upright position, but as we chew and swallow food or drink water, it'll close over the windpipe so we don't aspirate. So that's what that was.
Okay. And you used the term contusions. What does that mean?
So bruising, another way of putting
Okay, hemorrhaging?
hemorrhaging within the muscle, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you some exhibits and kind of have you walk me through what you observed. I'm going to have you get in front of, does that microphone,
You can pull that out and,
This?
yes.
and it doesn't project your voice, it only records, so just make sure you speak into that, please.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have you stand in front of at least this screen over here.
This one here?
Yep, please. And then I'm going to pull up photographs, and when you need to point to something to identify it, just let me know, and I will put a laser on here. All right, I'm going to start with exhibit.
Sorry, I'll speak up.
Your Honor, Dr. Cho may need to move a little bit away, just so the,
Here.
yeah, yeah, thank you.
I'm going to first start with exhibit 127. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
That's the body within the tarp as we received it with the duct tape.
Okay, before you removed it?
Correct.
All right. Exhibit 128.
That's with the tarp being removed from the body and the duct tape around the body.
129.
Same thing.
Okay. In this one, you can see the top half of her body as well.
Yes. The head is here.
Okay. 130.
This is with the body bag, the tarp removed and just the duct tape around the ankles and lower legs.
131.
This is the head, the top of the head, and there's duct tape over the nose and the mouth here.
132.
This is just with the duct tape removed. The teeth, I think prominence of the nose is here.
133.
This is a cleaned up photo of the head once we've removed the bag and all of the debris. You can start to see some contusions around the right eye, left cheek.
Your Honor, is it okay if I ask if everybody can see that clearly, or if I need to point anything on the, we're good? Okay. Exhibit 134.
This is just a same kind of area that's being photographed, but from the left side. So you can see better the contusions that are on the left side of the cheek and the lateral aspect of the left eye.
Exhibit 135.
Left shoulder, there's a contusion on the left shoulder.
136.
Just a panned out shot of the shoulder and the head.
137.
This is the back of the head, and there's an area of contusion that I was pointing to earlier on myself here.
Exhibit 142.
This is an anterior, so front view of the head and neck with the head kind of pulled back. This area is a contusion and abrasion on the anterior part or front of the neck.
Exhibit 144.
This is the metal ring with clear stones I was talking about on the right fourth finger.
And I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Did you say on the right?
Right. fourth
Right hand,
finger.
okay.
Pardon.
Okay, no, it's okay. I'm gonna move to the internal injuries. I'm gonna have you look at exhibit 138.
So this is the top of the head with the scalp reflected back, and we're seeing the top of the skull. This area here is a contusion that's on the skull, so we call that a subgaleal contusion. This is on the undersurface of the scalp, so that's a subcutaneous contusion. More of the same on the back of the head as well.
139.
This is the right side of the head, showing very much the same thing. So on the surface of the skull, there's some contusion, and then on the undersurface of the scalp, there are contusions in that area.
$140.
Just a close-up on the left side, really highlighting the hemorrhage that's on the surface of the skull, as well as on the undersurface of the scalp, all indicative of blunt force injury.
141.
This is with the top of the skull removed. This is the surface of the brain, and there's all this residual subdural hemorrhage. So there's been bleeding on the surface of the brain from blunt force injury.
143.
So the epiglottis that I had talked about before, that flap, this is the epiglottis here. And what you'll notice are these petechial hemorrhages here. Those hemorrhages shouldn't be there. And there's also bruising on the back of the tongue, as I had mentioned, and around the areas, but that's the petechial hemorrhages.
So you use the word petechial hemorrhaging. What does that mean in layman terms?
So petechiae are just pinpoint hemorrhages that occur when there's been intense pressure. And we're talking about the vascular system here. So vessels are carrying blood, and when constricted or compressed, it's just like a hose. The water or the fluid is going to want to go to the path of least resistance. So in this case, the blood will go to the smaller arteries until there's, and vessels until there's an endpoint, and then there's nowhere to go, so it'll burst. And that's what gives us those petechial hemorrhages.
When you
That's
discussed
clear.
the bruising under the scalp on the left side,
Yes.
and had the scalp pulled back to look at it?
Yes.
Okay. Would those injuries necessarily cause the skin to break open?
Not necessarily.
Okay. And tell me about the internal, I'm gonna go ahead and have you can take the stand again, and if
Oh.
I need to show you an additional picture, I will. So the photograph of, it's exhibit 141, where the brain bleed that you described. How does that happen? Like, right, how is there a blood on the brain is it in between the skull and where is that located?
So the brain, our brains are covered by dura. It's fibrous tissue. And there are small bridging veins between the surface of the brain and the dura that go through the dura. So when there's blunt force injury to the head, strong enough to tear those bridging veins, that's what will give us that subdural hemorrhage. So it's a subdural, meaning sub, under the dura, but on top of the surface of the brain. I don't know if that was clear.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is there anything about that injury, the brain bleed, that you saw evidence that it would bleed outside of the scalp, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no. So there were no skull fractures. So no, it would stay contained in that space.
Okay. Were you able to determine a cause of death in this case?
Yes.
And what was that?
Strangulation and multiple blunt force injuries of head and face, I guess.
Okay, so you came to two separate causes of death?
They both contributed, yes.
Okay, could either one of them independently have caused her death?
Yes.
Were you able to determine the manner of death?
Yes.
And what was that?
Homicide.
Did you also do toxicology in this case?
Yes.
Was there any evidence of oxycodone in Miss Warner's body?
No.
As a result of doing the autopsy on Miss Warner, are you required to sign a death certificate?
The chief medical examiner signs the death certificate.
Okay.
I author a report.
All right. And who is the chief medical examiner in Lenawee County?
Dr. John Maino. M-A-I-N-O.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
And was, oh, thank you. Was one done in this case?
Yes.
Were you able to determine, well, let me ask you this. CSI, Law and Order, you know, they'd have you believe when you find a body, within 20 minutes, you know the exact date and the exact time of death. Is that how that works?
No.
Okay, can you explain that to me? How do you determine date of death?
A lot of it is, it's multifactorial. It's based on investigation, last known alive, body condition, all of that.
Okay, and in this case, People's Exhibit 259, oh, you can't see that, can you?
I can walk up. Should I go?
No, I'm gonna come to you. I try to move it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, death certificate, yes.
Is there cause, or the date of death on there?
Date pronounced is August 17th.
It's
Date
up
of
here, you
death.
can't see.
Oh, it's scrolled up, yep. On or about April 25th, 2021, yep.
I'm gonna ask you that again since I'm back here.
Yep.
So the date of death on the death certificate,
Is on or about April 25th, 2021.
was there anything about the condition of Miss Warner's body that made you believe she could not have died on or after April 25th, 2021?
No.
Okay. She looked a little bit, when I look at the pictures, you know, I'm kind of shocked to see the way her feet are bound, you know. She looks somewhat fairly well preserved. Can you tell me why that's not a concern for you?
No, I mean, it was a sealed tank. There was presumably little to no oxygen in it since it's an ammonia tank, anhydrous. So if it was water, H2O, there's your oxygen source that would speed up decomposition, but didn't seem to be any of that, so.
Okay, and why does it matter, so the oxygen would speed up decomposition?
Yep, I mean, ammonia will too, but obviously at a slower rate.
Okay. The lack of oxygen, again, would lead you to not question her date of death as being April 25th, 2021 or later?
No.
Okay. I have nothing further.
We're going to make our way back over.
Okay.
Dr. Cho, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mary Chartier. I represent Mr. Warner, and I have some questions for you this afternoon. So I want to pick up where you left off, where you were talking about the date of death was on or about April 25th, 2021. And you said two things factor into that determination, an investigation and then the body condition. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So the investigation entails what? Is it people telling you the last time I saw her was this day or this time? How does the investigation factor in?
Sure. That information is presented to me usually by law enforcement. Last known alive, reporting as such. So we're not an investigative entity, so that's why we rely on outside sources.
If someone hadn't told you that, if someone had not told you the last time that Ms. Warner was seen alive was roughly April 24th or April 25th, 2021, what would you have determined the date of death to be?
I'm not sure I understand that.
Sure. So let's imagine that this body was found, no one knows who she is.
Right.
Right. And so you don't have any law enforcement officer telling you anything about last time seen.
I see.
What would you determine the date of death to have been?
Yeah, for me, I would have to say unknown.
So the body condition of Ms. Warner, independent of the investigation, would not give you a date, a month, a year?
No.
Okay, thank you. So that was my question. And then you indicated in your analysis that the time of death was unknown. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And that's because you can't tell that by the body condition.
Correct.
And also that the place of death was unknown, correct?
Correct.
And that's because you can't tell that, again, based on your analysis and the body condition.
Correct.
You had indicated that there can be two causes of death, strangulation and then blunt force trauma, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell what was the cause of death or both contributed to death?
Both contributed.
Both contributed.
Yes.
Now, with strangulation, there may be a loss of bodily fluids. Is that accurate?
Possibly, yeah.
And that would be, for instance, urine or bowels, correct?
Correct.
With blunt force injury, you indicated that the brain bleed would not cause external bleeding, correct? Or am I wrong about that?
No, I think the question I was answering was, what I thought I was answering was, a subdural hemorrhage, would there necessarily be an external source of bleeding or bleeding from that? So, as I said, you can get a subdural hemorrhage without a skull fracture.
So
I'm not sure I'm answering your question.
So that's okay. I will ask maybe a more particular question. With the injuries that you noted on Ms. Warner, could any of them have caused external bleeding?
So can you specifically cite which injury you're referring to?
Any injury on her body, any contusion,
Sure.
any injury.
So any of the contusions that are visible, there could be external bleeding.
And with the brain bleed, or the strangulation, is there any chance, for example, of bleeding from the nose, from the mouth, anything like that?
I suppose it's possible.
Do you know the instrument that caused the blunt force trauma?
No.
Moving on to the body, when you examine the body, was there an odor emanating beyond what you would expect with body decomposition?
Sure.
And what was that?
Ammonia.
Was it overpowering?
At times, yes.
And that odor might sound like a basic question. That is not a natural odor that a person has when they pass away. That, you believe, was a chemical from inside the tank?
Well, if an individual, so if I were to pass away in a house that's abandoned and somebody comes upon me later, there would be a strong smell of ammonia from that. But in this case, with the environment of the tank, there's no way to discern. I'm not sure I'm asked.
No, you are. That was it. So
So-
the overpowering at times ammonia odor, you don't know if that was from Ms. Warner, the anhydrous ammonia in the tank, or a combination of both?
It's more than likely from the tank.
More than likely from the tank.
Yeah,
From the chemicals in the tank?
absolutely.
And then because of the ammonia, in looking at your analysis, there was tissue breakdown due to prolonged exposure to ammonia?
Some, yes.
And some facial features and landmarks were also absent because of the prolonged ammonia exposure?
Sure, and the tape, yeah.
Do you know what does, are there studies about what prolonged ammonia exposure does to a body?
Not that I know of.
Not that I could find either. I didn't know if you knew any.
No.
And then we saw some red or brown mud-like substance. What was that?
I don't know. I mean, I presume that it might be some dirt mixed with some fluids, but I don't know.
But you, so the answer is you don't know. Setting aside your presumption, you do not know.
Correct.
Now, was there any rigor mortis when you examined Ms. Warner?
No.
Talk to us about that. When does rigor mortis set in?
Generally, after a couple of hours. It should be present under normal environmental conditions for up to, 24 hours. It'll start to break, and then will go away.
What is rigor mortis?
It's the stiffening of our muscles after death.
So if someone is in rigor mortis, can you move their body in terms of like bending it and things like that?
Sure.
And what would that do to the condition of the body?
Nothing.
Would it cause any sort of indication of injury, break a bone, anything like that?
Sometimes, I mean, if you have a really brittle osteoporotic person, it could.
Now, if a body is placed in a certain position
Mhm.
when they're in rigor mortis, and then the rigor mortis lapses, what would be the impact of that?
The body would just stay in that position.
The body would stay in that one position.
Correct.
Want to talk to you about the clothing that you had indicated were pajamas, but also indicated it might be a sweatsuit, correct?
Correct.
So what particular pieces of clothing did you find?
Top and bottom, pajamas, and underwear.
In underwear. So are you talking about a bra, or are you talking about underwear?
Underwear.
Underwear. So underwear, so bottoms and top. Was the top crew neck, hoodie? What was the top?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No.
Would looking at a photograph help
Sure.
refresh your memory? Ms. Saylor, would you show Dr. Cho 1413, please? And if you could just take it up to him. Well, if you just can show him, let's see. Oh, great. So you're showing 1403. Without my glasses, I put the 0 as a 1. There are some other photographs, if those would be helpful as well, if you'd like to scan through
You're
those.
speaking of the ones on the left of the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Did that help refresh your memory?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the top? Do you,
From that, I can't even tell. I mean, it's just hanging down.
okay. So would you like to look at other photographs to help refresh your memory?
Sure.
Ms. Saylor, why don't you show him the photographs? All of them, and see if that helps.
Presumably, these are the pants that are hanging over.
Just let me know when you want me to go.
Oh, you can go. Yeah, please do. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure. I can't tell where the top part of the clothing is.
Okay, thank you,
It's
Ms.
pretty
Saylor. So the clothing, let me jump back. Was the clothing cut off, Ms. Warner?
It could have been. Sometimes when it's difficult to remove from the body, we will cut.
And so, again, you found underwear, earrings, a ring, a pair of lounge pants. So they could be pajamas, it could be sweatsuit, could
Sure.
be loungewear. You don't know, correct?
Sure.
And then a top that, again, you don't know if it's a crew neck, a hoodie, anything like that, correct?
Correct. I mean, as I said, it looked like a set of pajamas to me, but
Thank you. Now, you talked about doing a toxicology report. What impact would the delay in doing the analysis have on what you could find doing the toxicology report?
well, the laboratory was able to test it, so not much impact at all.
So you didn't do the testing yourself?
No. We will collect samples, and they'll be sent out to a national laboratory, and then we wait for the results.
So you looked at the results, but again, you didn't do the testing, correct?
Correct.
Now, finally, with everything that you did, you identified what you believe to be the causes of death and the manner of death. You don't know who the perpetrator was, correct?
Correct.
I have no additional questions. Thank you, sir.
Again, you've been doing this since 2007,
Yes.
and a common practice is to rely on the investigation when you're dealing with date of death.
Always.
I was a little bit confused because you said it earlier and then again on cross-examination. So you said both the strangulation and the blunt force trauma contributed to her cause of death. What does that mean?
Either could have caused it.
Either independently could have caused her death?
Correct.
Okay. And you were asked if you could determine what type of instrument was used, is that correct?
Correct.
Does it necessarily, I mean, could it have been a wall or a table or a floor or any of those things?
Yes.
The brownish red substance that was on Miss Warner's body, have you ever seen anything like that?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Thank you, nothing further.
Nothing additional, thank you.
Okay, we do have one question from the jury, if you would approach. Okay, is it possible that contusions can be from moving the body after death?
No. Do you want me to explain? Or just simply no?
It's a question from the juror, so Ms. Wise, do you have any follow-up based on that question?
I would just follow up and ask him to explain that.
Okay.
So the contusions form because of a vital reaction that we have to that injury. So if I'm dead, die, and somebody smacks my head, my heart isn't beating any blood, so there's no response to that injury.
What about the brain bleed? Is that the same
Same thing.
thing? Okay, thank you.
Nothing additional, thank you.
Okay, and may Dr. Cho be excused from his subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your time, sir. You are free to go.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we have another question.
I apologize.
No worries.
Question was being written while we were talking.
Yes. That's okay.
can you tell if the body was killed inside or outside?
No.
Anything in follow-up to that?
No follow-up, Your Honor.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. We all set with questions from our jurors? Don't see anyone writing, so okay. All right, thank you, sir. You're off
Thank
duty.
you.